ABC News announced a new anchor lineup this week in somewhat tortured language. The network named David Muir to succeed Diane Sawyer as the anchor of World News, returning the three big network seats to days of yore, all three white men.
From ABC News.
After 5 years in the coveted role as anchor of World News Tonight, Diane Sawyer is stepping down.
And I am so happy that someone you know well is going to be at the helm of World News.
David Muir, the local boy from Channel 5, makes good.
You are the captain here. They know that you have led us. You have reminded us every night that it's about the viewers at home, which is really why the viewers now lead us on our journey with Made in America. They tell us what stories we should do next. And you and I really have so much planned already.
Yeesh, we'll forgive that maudlin moment for now. Also on the move, although it's not clear where, Good Morning America anchor George Stephanopoulos. He's been given the lofty title of chief anchor, even though he won't be in the chief seat. For a short time in 2011, two of the network anchor seats were chaired by women. But with Sawyer's departure, Muir joins Brian Williams and Scott Pelley in the all-boys club.
Good evening. We're going to begin in Vatican City tonight.
It's a throwback to when the three big chairs were held by Peter Jennings, Tom Brokaw, and Dan Rather. Over the years, only a handful of women have been given the chance. There was, of course, the ill-fated double anchor stint with Barbara Walters and Harry Reasoner, and a second with Dan Rather and Connie Chung, and more recently, Bob Woodruff and Elizabeth Vargas. Meanwhile,
I just asked you if you went all the way with your wife.
Look for Diane Sawyer to be anchoring more in-depth news specials.
All right, so what do the anchor changes mean, and does it even matter in today's media landscape? Joining me to hash it out are Kara Miller of WGBH News, Joshua Benton of the Neiman Journalism Lab, Callie Crossley, also of WGBH News, and Dan Kennedy of Northeastern University. I was a little surprised they made this decision now. I thought, 5 years is not really a long time to hold an anchor seat. And Diane Sawyer had wanted that job for a long time, before even when Elizabeth Vargas and Bob Woodruff got it. But, I guess I sort of find it credible, though, that she'd want to dial back and mostly do specials. I think there was a lot of inner turmoil there over what to do about David Muir and George Stephanopoulos, which is why they came up with these kind of ridiculous titles. Chief anchor? What does that mean? Chief anchor. The chief anchor anchors World News Tonight. That's World News. Let's face it, that's the most important job there is. So.
Well, I don't know if that's true anymore. The morning news shows are bigger and make more money.
There's no news on them.
No, I know. Apparently, Stephanopoulos will be anchoring breaking news events, so that's where the chief anchor thing comes in. Yeah, and it sounds like, Stephanopoulos said, come on, it's my turn to be rewarded, but he's too valuable in the morning to pull him out of that.
No, I think that's exactly right. I think you have seen a fundamental shift in where news matters. And where news matters is where money matters. And ABC is a division of the Disney Corporation, and money is made in the morning. And so David Muir, even though he seems like he would be the face of ABC, is not the face of ABC. The face of ABC lives in the morning, and so therefore George Stephanopoulos in some ways is the go-to person if a 9/11 were to happen, because he is the person who has the real money chair, which is in the morning. And then he kind of has this sort of big name chair, I think, on Sundays, a couple, this week. So I really think that's what's happening, is we're seeing the very beginning of what we've seen coming for a long time, which is nights do not matter nearly as much as mornings, and the real important people are going to be in those chairs.
I think you're right, and I think I confess I haven't seen an evening network newscast, and I can't tell you how long. And that maudlin display doesn't make me think I've made a mistake in doing that. Along with that shift, you mentioned the lack of diversity among them, that they're all white men. If there is an attempt at diversity here, it's that the new anchor is younger. He's only 40 and trying to reach out to a younger demographic. That was the take that the New York Times brought to it. That seems like an odd choice. I remember when I worked in newspapers, there was a long period of time when newspapers were really interested in attracting younger readers. They thought they would have new sections and new features that would get young people to read the newspaper. At a certain point, they realized that's really not a battle they're going to win. And they shifted back to focusing on their core readership. I kind of feel like we're at a similar point with an evening network news broadcast. I don't see a universe where a lot of young people are going to suddenly say, oh, there's a 40-year-old guy in that chair. I guess I'll watch the evening news at 6:30.
And more to the point, who is David Muir? I mean, we know him here from Channel 5. I mean, he's done okay on the weekends. He's perfectly fine, and he's really good out in the field. I've seen him really grow since he's been there as a network correspondent. But what you need in the anchor chair is somebody that flips to you specifically because you draw them. I'm sorry, that's not David Muir. No. So that's not going to work for people who do watch it, and for folks who are not interested, to your point, they're not turning on to see. Now, I'm not watching any ABC anymore because George Stephanopoulos has never done it for me. And so maybe because there's some folks who still feel a little bit that way is the reason why he didn't get the big chair, because I do think there is a lot of that kind of stuff.
I still think of him as Bill Clinton's guy.
Exactly. And by the way, there is when you say there's no news in the morning, I mean, on ABC, it's all entertainment.
No, I know.
So I watch CBS because I don't mind entertainment. Y'all know that. But please, some things, what's going on in the day? It's terrible.